Hey guys, welcome to our channel. It's Toho. Today we are doing another cooking video and we are cooking butter beans. Ooh. When Amor is thinking butter beans, he usually will accompany those with like, bunandobula. And he'll say something like, Ozadinga inyama wiswele, which is really saying the niceness that you find here, you look for meat and you'll not find it. But this is what butter beans look like. Let me just grab a handful. This is kind of, yeah, that's basically what they look like. So you get them, they can be a bit on the dry side, and this is kind of, okay. This is kind of how they look like. Or you can get them a bit fresh. Focus. Sorry. It wants to focus on me, not on the bean. But yeah, you get it. So anyway, when you get them kind of fresh, like the pod will look like this. And when you kind of get them dryish, it will sort of look like this or browner. So we've got them in the garden, and actually I had just like picked a few to show you. But you'll find them in the shops. Normally they'll be like completely, if you find a completely like white big bean like this size, or I've never seen them in this color before. This was the first time I've seen them in this color. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. So from this stage, you're going to boil them first. So yeah, let's put them in water. Okay, I've put them in water and I'm going to show you just now. I just really want you to have like an idea of how much beans there is and how much water I'm gonna boil them in. So I'm just gonna grab the camera now and show you just how much there is. So this is the pot I'm cooking them in, not a very deep pot. It's a shallow pot. Yeah, so I would have to say these are like 500 grams. They're definitely not a kg. And the water is sitting just above the bean. The thing is, there's mixed ones between fresh ones and the ones that were a bit dry. So I'm gonna have to cook them a little bit longer. So as I cook, I'll be tasting to see if they're cooked, and I can taste the dark ones because those are the hard ones. And basically, if they are not cooked and the water is dry, I would have to keep adding until it cooks. I'll basically let you know how long I boil this for. And yeah. So while these are in the pot to boil, I'm going to be going ahead and start chopping my onion and peeling my garlic. If you want to cook butter beans during the day, what you probably want to do is that you probably want to soak them the night before so that early the next morning you can start cooking them. But if you want to cook them for supper, what you probably want to do is that you probably want to soak them in the morning, and then they can be ready to cook in the evening just to cut the cooking time shorter. But another way of doing that is that you can cook them in a pressure cooker, which will basically save your gas or your electricity bill. I was actually going to cook them to soak them for the day, and Amon thought that because they're mixed with fresh ones, they should probably be okay. The first time I ever cooked fresh ones, they took me about 30 minutes and the butter beans were done. So I've peeled my garlic here. I think it's a couple of bulbs. Do you guys say bulbs? Like when the thing has like several cloves? Yeah, I've got a couple of those. And I've got 2 medium onions. And then I've got 4, don't know if it's medium or large. They're mixed. I've got 4 tomatoes basically. I thought it was 2 onions too few, so I threw in 1 more for good measure. So that's 3 onions. Guys, I'm not going to cut like Jamie Oliver. So Aman is mean. He leaves me with the instruction that I mustn't play too much. I don't know why he thinks that I'm gonna do that every time I do legumes. So the first place I fell in love with lentils was in Mauritius. And Mauritius do a lot with time. Like, I'd have to say a lot of that Creole food, at least the families I stayed with, a lot of that Creole food has got time in it. And so when I make lentils, I I put time. I wouldn't say I'm generous, but he says that I put too much. But it's because even the people that I watch cooking lentils would use a lot of time. Anyway, yeah, so I wasn't even planning on putting time in the butter beans, and for some reason, he felt he needed to give me the instruction not to put too much. So anyway, like Mauritian cooking, the Creole food, they do a lot with the onion and tomato as well. And in the one family that I stayed with, they used garlic. And in the other family that I stayed with, they loved both garlic and ginger. So when they cook like that, their onion and tomato with garlic and ginger, they tend to call the stew hogai. I'll write it well. I don't know if I'll get it right, but I kind of write it down for you. Yeah, so I thought a lot of their food is a little bit similar to African food, well, their Creole food. Like, because they didn't really farm beef. If you want mince, you probably find like game mince. Like, there was a time I was making tacos and I found buffalo mince, and so generally they will cook like your sausages, and they use a lot of canned there are these sausages that they cook for fried rice, and they did the canned like your corned beef, they use that. I don't remember corned beef so much, but I remember corned chicken. The canned chicken, that one I struggled with the color, but they slice it and fry it. And then there's a lot of they eat a lot of ham with the French loaves that they call baguettes, and a lot of ham, a lot of sausages. But I do know that I don't know. I'm assuming they have a healthy dairy industry because they have the most amazing yogurts, and they come in flavors you don't expect to find flavors of yogurts. Even the flavors for ice cream, like they really like have like island flavors, like your pineapples and your prunes. Anyway, I'm just gonna finish this up and start frying it up. And the family I stayed with, the man was like a brilliant cook. He was like Amon. He was actually a carpenter. And oh my gosh, like Mauritian food is nice because you get your Indian food, your Chinese food, Creole food. And so the food is delicious, but there are certain people that when they cook this food, you know it's been cooked with skill, and he kind of cooked like that. So I always used to say if he hadn't made it as a carpenter, he would have made it as a chef. But yeah, he was an amazing cook. I put on 12 kg the first 3 months I was there. Exactly what happened with when I married Amon. I put on 12 kg the first 3 months. I remember being in Mauritius. I was 60 when no, I was 55 when I left, and no, I had put on 10 kg and I was 65 while I was there. Yeah, because I was always eating the leftovers. I love my food. I'm going to put some salt at this stage, but I don't want it to be like super salty, so I'm going to start off with like two teaspoons of salt. Recently I cooked lentils and I had put 1 tablespoon of salt, and they turned out to be too salty, so I'm gonna start off with 2 teaspoons of salt, and then once the onion and tomato mixture is cooked, I will play with the salt according to how it tastes. Just put that to start frying. The steam is fogging up my lens, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put the garlic. Amon likes his garlic towards the end, but I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in now. This is the stage at which I would ordinarily put another little bit of salt, probably another teaspoon of salt, but I'm going to instead put this. The other day we put it in our eggplant and it gave it a really nice flavor. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of that. I want it to taste as natural as possible, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit of that just to add a little bit of a flavor. I've put about that much. At this stage, I'm also just gonna go ahead and put my tomato in. It was just almost golden brown, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put tomato and let them cook together until the tomato is dissolved. Onion and tomato mix is ready for the butter beans. So I'm starting to put in my butter beans in there. I've put all the beans, put a little tot of water. I'm gonna need a soup packet to bring it together, but because I don't have one, I'm just gonna create something for myself. Check here, because I don't have a packet of soup to bring the stew together. I just thought, you can make your own with flour, but I don't have a flour that's opened and I don't want to open a flour just to bring this meal together. So I decided to look at my corn flour, and I was surprised to find actually when I read the packet to see if I can make myself a gravy with it, it says thin gravy sauce, thin sauce and thick sauce for gravy. So I'm just gonna go with the measurements for the thin sauce. I'm gonna do the 4 teaspoons instead of the 2 tablespoons. Sometimes with corn flour you can get more thickness than what you bargain for. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is normally I use when I make like a glossy icing for chocolate cake, but yeah, today it's helping me with my gravy. So that's 4 teaspoons and 1 cup of water. Because I don't want to lose the the flavor that I've already got going on, so I'm gonna add the spice to that mix as well. And so I'm gonna put the 2 in the stew. And in fact, this is the spice that we get from Malaysia. This is the stuff we get from South Africa. So yeah. Now that we've got this corn flour and spice mix, I'm gonna put it in with the stew. So I'm just gonna let it cook together until the stew is looking thick, and then that will be it. In fact, the moment I stirred it, I could feel the thickness of that's made by the cornstarch. The corn flour, yeah. So I'm just gonna let it like just boil together, simmer together for a little bit, and then maybe for another 10 minutes, and then that will be done. By the way, just FYI, the beans that were hard took at least an hour and a half to cook. So lesson learned: in the future, I will not mix the dry ones and the fresh ones. If I use fresh ones, I'll use them so I can cook quickly. And if I use the dry ones, I'll let them soak overnight or soak the whole day. And voila, the butter bean stew is done. It tastes as yummy as it looks. And yeah, when we have it tonight, we will have it with rice. So yeah. So as you've seen, the meal is ready, and this is a great substitute for all of you who are vegan or whole food plant-based. I know that I see a lot of people who are eating plant foods. They eat a lot of chickpeas, And I just thought, what another way to introduce another plant-based food that's full of protein. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you're always notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, bye.